The good news is the Black community can be healed, but it can't be healed if we keep doing the same thing.
Are you ready for an extreme makeover of the mind? With the producer and host of A Better You podcast, the transformational coach whose assignment is to challenge people to change, grow, and evolve into the individuals they were created to be. Here is Dr. Anthony McFarland, providing you with practical tools and wisdom for everyday life challenges for you to win in life, relationships, and finances.
All right, we are live and not Memorex. I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, my brother, it is always good to connect with you and be with you. And I thank God for you and your awesome queen, Andrea. And I first want to say thank you. I mean, we're on here. I'm gonna share my testimony, and I know you have a testimony. That's how I learned about this life-changing product that has definitely changed my life. One of the things that I've been an advocate for, aside from, of course, you guys being in the financial industry for, over 12 years or so, and me being a newcomer to that, I've been an advocate for health for probably 15 years, 14, 15 years for sure, which came by way of me having a health challenge, specifically with cholesterol. And over the years, when I look at the health statistics of the Black community, it's a sad commentary. And when you think about statistics compared to other white counterparts, African Americans are generally at higher risk for health disease, stroke, cancer, asthma, influenza, pneumonia, diabetes is a big one. To the other extreme, a lot of people have digestive issues. And as a pastor, I've seen this for now pastoring 24 years this year. I've seen it for before pastoring, but pastoring and people calling for prayer and wanting you to be in agreement with them for, the different health challenges that they have. It's horrific is a strong word to use, but it's definitely an issue. And so again, when we look at health disparities in the African American community, conditions like colon cancer, just within the past few weeks, talked to two different brothers where brothers have died suddenly from having colon cancer, but they didn't talk about it. They didn't, do what they needed to do to counter it, like with health examinations and that sort of thing. And oftentimes a lot of it's due to diet, which brings us to cardiovascular disease, which has a big impact on people within the African American community and much higher rates than most other racial backgrounds. So when you think about cardiovascular disease, man, it's a monster because it causes hypertension, again, stroke. I've had several people within the past year up to the past month. My brother just unfortunately, he had just gotten out of, well, I won't go into that, but he had just come home and he went to prison and he got diagnosed with cancer before he was released. Once he was released, which was 5 months ago, he had a seizure. When he had the seizure, then they found a tumor on his brain that was cancerous. And man, it was terrible. When he had the seizure, they started to do more tests and figuring out how to address the tumor and what was the cause of it and how to address the cancer. I'll tell you, Rory, within 2 weeks, he went to jump in a car and drive and had another seizure, had an accident right there coming out the driveway, rushed to emergency, and we just the other day buried him. We just buried him. And it's just I want to say this to the brothers that are watching, and I'm telling you, if you're watching this at any point in time, please get this video, share this video to brothers. Everybody needs it.
Yes,
What we're sharing.
Record it too. Record it. Make sure it's recorded. And
Yeah, we're recording. We're recording. I know we're live and we're recording as well, but it's serious. You know, me and another brother, Steve, longtime friend, years like you and I, another brother, he had dealt with it, and you know, he's a big advocate for colon cancer. As you know, you're going to be a guest, one of the spotlight speakers at the health conference next month for the Man Cave. So I've been an advocate for health a long time. This isn't something that I've just like jumped on.
a long time.
Yeah, a long time. And I know several people who are dealing with high blood pressure. And I want to make it clear to those of you that are not, you don't understand how having high blood pressure can be dangerous, and it's big in our community. Anything over 120 over 80 is elevated, and over 130 and 90 is classified as hypertension. I just received a phone call to protect the person's identity. A family member, someone that's very precious to me, called me from the hospital and said, the doctor just told me I'm one step, my blood pressure is so high. Hear this, Roy, and they're 45 years old. My blood pressure is so high that I was just one moment away from having a stroke. And they were glad that she was in the office and they were able to jump right on top of it. So when you think about issues like metabolic syndrome, man, that's big. Again, I had dealt with for years elevated cholesterol. It's been an issue for me for over 12 years, maybe almost 12 years for sure, 14 years, which got me on the journey to being a pescatarian, you know, cutting out meat and dairy, hoping to conquer the cholesterol, then getting on red yeast rice, all kind of things, combating it. And over the years, doctors have wanted to put me on medicine, right? But I'm like, between my faith and discipline with what I put in this body, I can manage it because I don't want to get on the medicine, right? So, brother, when you, after knowing your history and some of the challenges that you face, when we got on that team meeting and you said, hey, I'm feeling great. I just got the doctor's report of a lifetime. I couldn't be doing better. And you just, I mean, you scaved over, you didn't like go into what it was. And then in the next meeting, I think you said like some of our team members, Tina and different people, they were getting some results. But when you said it in that meeting, I called you afterwards. I was like, man, okay, what you doing? Because I know what you were faced with. Yes. I said, what you taking? What did you take? And he said, all you said was, this is what I'm taking. We'll show it to people in a minute. And I was like, okay, I want it. I need it. I don't want it. I need it, right? Because you got result. And I'm going,
hey,
I'm hoping.
I want to let the people know what kind of results I got, because I'm so glad that I mean, it's very hard to swallow the things that has transpired. And also too, I cover you in the blood of Jesus for your brother. And to be absent from the body is to be with God. So he's with the Father. This is a serious conversation, so it requires some serious talk and talk straight. I never did get involved with drinking and smoking, but one thing I've learned, it's a word that's used all the time. Well, you know, it's in your culture. It's in African Americans' culture. You know, high blood pressure, diabetes. But what I found out, Dr. McFarland, is that it's in our culture because of our culture. Culture doesn't mean ethnicity. It means what you do. When you have a culture of eating bad, that goes from one generation to the next generation to the next generation. So we've been eating bad for generation after generation. It wasn't as worse as it was now, because back then it did have some nutrients in the vegetables and all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
Today, the soils in America are depleted. So there's little nutrients. So you have to find other ways of supplements to get the proper nutrients in your body. I believe disease means disease. Wherever there's disease, there's disease.
Come on.
And we got so much disease in our community. And that's the reason why we have so much disease, because it's disease. And, you know, years ago, everything was going great. I'm running around, like you said, blood pressure elevated, and a guy that's not smoking or drinking have a full-blown heart attack. So wait a minute, I don't smoke, I don't drink.
Yeah.
I have attack. And that was a bad transition. So at that time, I had said to myself, I got to find out the answer. I asked the doctor, why would I catch a heart attack? Same word. Well, it runs in African-American families. So I started to see what runs in the family. And when I started doing research, what runs in the family is a bad lifestyle of eating. But I wasn't eating bad, but I wasn't eating 100% conscious.
Right. Clean.
So
yes.
when I caught that heart attack, I said, wow, I got to do something about it. And I started searching. And there was a gentleman, his name is Rav, and he started speaking on the social media, because I'm on social media a lot,
right.
In the finance world. And he starts saying things to me like, hey, you need to try this. You had a health challenge. You need to try this. You need to try that. And he would say I did try it. So I went to start doing my research. And when I started to do the research, it blew me away that how diabetes and high blood pressure, cancer, all these things that happen in our community, why it happened. So I said, wow, doctor trying to give me so much medicine to take. So I said, you know what? I'm going to give it a try. Even though I took some of the medicine, I had to because But I vowed to myself that I'm going to get off the medicine. So I went ahead and I tried the product. I didn't tell nobody else around me. I didn't tell my wife. I told her about it, but I didn't tell her to take it. I didn't tell you to take it. Nobody to take it in my circle because I wanted to see for myself if it works.
Right.
So I took 6 months on the product, but after the first few days, I started to feel a result. But I said, maybe it's because my faith is so hard that
right.
I'm
right.
After a month or so, I start to feel better, more energy, all of that. And then start to get better and better. And I went to the doctor, and the doctor looked at me and he said, keep up the medicine. Everything's working good. And I didn't say anything. He said everything was looking good. So I kept taking the medicine. The herbs, kept taking them. And I said to myself, I want to see what's happening. So I started to get more energy. So I went from barely walking up hills to running up hills. So I knew I was getting stronger. Yes. I knew I was benefiting. My skin started to glow. I started to look better. I started to feel like I used to feel. So I kept on the product. I became so committed to the product because I knew it worked. Yeah. And I said to myself, next time I go to the doctor after the 6 months, this is going to tell me what's going on.
It'll be the tell-all, yes.
So I went to the doctor. He came to me and he looked all funny. He said, wow, you don't have to take that. Your sugar is good. Your cholesterol is good. Your blood pressure is good. And I told the doctor, I had to tell him what I was taking. And my doctor, I'm not going to say his name, but my doctor is one of the biggest advocates for what I showed him with the product. So he takes the product and give it to patients that has problems. So like yourself, you had a lot of success, and there's a lot of people around me that's having a lot of success. My mom being one. My mom was going to have a kidney transplant. Through this product, she don't have to have a kidney transplant.
Woo, come on, praise God.
So what I'm doing is getting the word out to too many people as possible. But one thing I've learned, you can't tell the right person the wrong thing, but a lot of people you tell, they don't listen.
They don't listen, brother.
They don't listen.
You said, that's a word there.
But the ones who listen and benefit from it, there's a testimony. My assistant, I used to see her a little heavy, having health challenges, walking in, lost weight, feel good, advocate about the product. You got all these people that are just advocates about the product. So the good news is the Black community can be healed, but it can't be healed if we keep doing the same thing.
Same thing. Come on. Yeah.
We don't have health care. We have sick care. It's sick care, not health care. Yeah. Sick care. And doctors today, with no disrespect, are paid to treat the disease.
That's right.
Cure the disease. You see? So like yourself and me, we have some kind of holistic thinking. So we reach out for other things. But a lot of people, they don't reach out for things. They just depend on medication. There's not one medication that heals anything by things. So what we're advocating is giving people healing. And to have healing, it requires discipline. And also, too, it requires being consistent.
Well, those are two key components to having success with this. I want to just interject this. When I started, I didn't tell anybody either. And my wife was like, what you taking? I said, "Oh, I'm working on something." So she always knows I'm ordering something. I'm doing something. Work on getting some results, right? So I'm taking it, and I'm not going to tell her because we're kind of wired differently. And so she just sees me taking it. And probably about 2 weeks, 3 weeks later, I said, well, this is something that, Rory had a beautiful testimony about, and he had a bout with cholesterol amongst other things. And so I've been dealing with cholesterol like in a real kind of bad way for some time, some years. So I was like, I'm just all in. I'm going to try this. And so I took it every day for 3 months because I knew I said, although, there was this thing, if it doesn't work for you in 30 days, I didn't want to hear any of that. I knew that if it took, if I've been dealing with this for 12 years, I'm not looking for a miracle. I'm not looking for some wonder, drug or whatever. I know that it's going to take a certain percentage of time to see if this can get the results that it got you. 90 days, I had just gotten a blood test. So while I was taking the product, my blood test report came in so I could see where my triglycerides were, how things are high and what I need to work on because it tells you. And so about 90 days later, 3 months later, I go back and take a test. This time, though, when I'd go to take the test back right before the holidays, it takes me a month to get that test result back. And I was calling the doctor's office. Why is it taking me a long time to get my blood test back? But anyway, it finally came. And Rory, I tell you, I won't say never, but prior to 12, 14 years ago, I had never had a blood test that came back with these big bold letters.
Hey, listen, I know what you're feeling.
Hold on. When I saw it, I was like, I've never seen this before. Do I have the right document? Is it the right test results? And when it was like, everything is good, I was like, oh my God, this worked.
Yes.
I was shouting hallelujah at that point in time. And then that's when I was like, man, I'm all in. I got to tell people about this. And I just circle back to say, you said something key, and you can pick it up from here. It requires some discipline.
Yes, it does require
consistency.
But one thing I've noticed about this product, by taking it, I went and I did a lot of study on it. And I learned that this product is nothing new. It was a long time ago, and it was actually in Rexall drugstores. Remember Rexall?
Yes.
And that's when the big metformin thing was coming out, the pill for to treat sugar. So they basically said a long time ago that this particular product would treat diabetes by 90%, so 100%. And they knew about it, but they didn't put it out there, and they went with the metformin because it's not a drug. It's natural. So it's been around a while, but like I said, it's all about being patient, and it's all about lifestyle. So anybody that's willing on changing their lifestyle, the reward is worth going through the time. Well worth it. Because I'm going to share something. I went to the doctor to take a physical, and my doctors took the physical. Everything was great. And my wife will tell you, about a month ago, I fell down the stairs and broke my foot. But she thought I hit my head. I was okay. Went to the doctor. So they did standard procedure, brain scan, heart, all of that, right? And the doctor said, well, your heart is great, very strong. Nothing's wrong with your head. And I said to myself, well, I've had a heart attack before. And the doctor said, a heart attack? No, this looks a heart attack. So I know for a fact that it heals. But what I want to explain to people about the product is how to use the product, because it's not hard to use the product. It's very simple.
No, it's not. Yes.
So they have something that's called Unicity tea. Once again, this tea is not new. Years ago, the Indians used this tea to suppress their appetite because we're so full of sugar where we're hungry all the time. So back in the day, you could be eating all day. You ought to feel working. So the Indians used this herb to suppress their appetite. So with this system, when I get up in the morning, instead of having the coffee and all that stuff that's bad for the body, but if you drink coffee, that's fine. But I'm just saying these things that are proven. If you get up in the morning and you start having the Unicity tea, it's lemon, it has different flavors. It tastes so good, but it soothes your appetite. Whether you want hot or cold. So, and then a lot of people, once their appetite is start to curb their appetite, they get involved with intermediate fasting, which means they don't have to start eating in the morning. They do intermediate fasting. Some people do intermittent fasting because they're taking drugs and things of that sort. That's okay, but still suppress the appetite. And then when you get ready to eat, this is very important. A lot of people don't know this. See, we're eating food with very little nutrients, very little fiber. As I said earlier before, the souls in America are depleted. You could be a vegetarian and still be sick because you're not getting the proper nutrients. So when you take this thing called balance, it's natural, got the highest form of fiber and all the stuff inside of it. What you're doing is you take the balance first, you shake it up, let it and take it down, and you get the proper herbs and everything in your body. Then when you eat, your food digests correctly, and that's how it goes. So what it does is it balances you out. And once it starts to balance you out, it starts like healing things. Things start to be different with you. Right now, I didn't get to the point where I'm not hungry all the time. I have the tea in the morning, and I eat a little at a time. I have no problems. I used to have digestion problems and all that stuff. And this product has changed my life. And I just want to let the world know that it's changed my life, and it's changing so many people's lives. But like I said before, you can tell people about it, but you can't tell the right person the wrong thing. The person like yourself who really wanted to make a change and tried it, you got the results. I really want to make it and got it and made results. So one thing I'm noticing is for the individuals who really want to make a change. It doesn't matter how young you are, how old you are. I have my son on this thing, my wife on this thing, everybody's on this thing. And we are getting such great reports and feeling good. And I'm just happy about it. But I want to share it because with everybody that's out there, I want to share it because I know it works. So when you got multiple testimonies, you already know it works. So that's my story with it.
Yeah, and then so you pointed out the tea, and then there is these little packs here with the intermediate fasting. When we take one of these packs in a cup of water or a bottle, and it comes with a custom bottle, but you just shake it up 5 to 15 minutes prior to eating, knock it down, and what it does, and it tastes good. It tastes good, and what it does before you start eating is it prepares your body for what's to come, and it starts to absorb the fat, all the bad stuff in the food that you're eating. It's catching it. It's catching it. It's soaking it up. And then the next thing that it does is, and this is where a lot of women it then releases it.
Yes.
So in the morning and with the intermittent fasting, with the Unicity tea and the intermittent fasting, what happens is your blood also starts to be cleansed as well.
Yeah, it's your blood.
And that's what starts to help your body balance. And that's where that natural weight loss, as individuals have those testimonies that they're losing weight. Why? Because your body is coming into balance.
Yeah, I lost 45 pounds. I like 45 pounds.
It's called balance. So listen, brother, I would go from 245, which is not good, although I was a pescatarian, probably once, twice a month eating meat, like chicken. And my doctor told me, you got to get your weight down, at least you got to get down 220, 225. And he told me your ideal weight, this was years ago. He said, your ideal weight being 6'2" is 210, 215 pounds. And I was like, that's a joke. I will never get down 210, 215.
Oh,
man, that was the other thing that happened. And I mean, now I do work out. I mean, I work out every other day, but I tell you, where I would fluctuate between 245 and 220, brother, I looked up and I was at 215.
There it is. I
was at 215, and I lost a whole waist size. Now I wasn't taking the product for that, but what I found is it just balances your body out to what your weight proportion, height proportion, all those things. And it just starts working on your behalf, coupled with eating clean. But there was something that you said, you said, man, you can get to where you can just eat anything that you want, right?
Yes.
And I was like, I don't know about that. But after I got the victory, I said, okay, well, let me see if I add a little chicken back in my diet, if that, if it changes it. It hasn't changed anything, man. I feel great. And so I did, again, I did my blood test, getting ready to do another annual checkup. So I'm excited. I'm feeling great. You know what I'm saying? And it's refreshing to know that for the first time in almost 14 years, I've conquered cholesterol.
Yeah, but the main thing you conquered is that you conquered the doubt and you tried it for yourself. That's the only thing that really troubles me. I see myself being able to save so many people, even in my own family. But just if they would just take this leap of faith, because taking this product a day is less than a cup of coffee. Less than a cup of coffee. So this product, it breaks fast. See, it's called breakfast. This breaks fast. It balances that body out. And then after a while, man, you start to feeling good and you start looking good. And that's what it's all about. But we got to really, really take care of our health, because there's a lot of us, we're in the Word of God. We're doing everything. But if you didn't get your health, you don't have anything.
Man, Roy, my father told me years ago, my stepfather, I was a young teenager, and I was like, why do you wear those shoes? He had to wear some special shoes. And he said, Anthony, he said, when I was a younger man, he said, I didn't take care of my feet. And so when I got older, my feet didn't take care of me.
Yes.
So I have to buy these expensive shoes, these type of shoes, because he had to stand on his feet. And so the moral of that is, and what I took away from that some years later as I matured, is that if you don't take care of this body will not take care of you. Everybody have a great purpose. Everybody want to make money. Everybody want to win. But if you don't take care of this body, let me share something with you. Your winning seasons will become short. Your ability to make money will become short. And then you get to a place where you won't even be able to travel. Somebody that I love dearly, he waited years past his time to retire. And I'll never forget him saying to me, he said, Anthony, he said, I never knew that if I would have known that once I retired, which he waited an extra 3-4 years before he retired. And at that point in time, unfortunately, he was in his early 70s. He said, if you would have told me that I was going to have a heart attack and have to have a triple bypass, and that I would not be able to now enjoy my wife and travel and go to all the places we plan to travel, he said, I would have done better by my health and my body, and I would have retired sooner. But we have there's this unconscious expectation that we're just going to live the dream life. But man, I'm telling you, what you don't take care of will fail you later on in life.
And it's sad to say, statistics, they say 69% of African American male in particular, the average rate of life is 69. And that is a young age. And that's very young.
You know what the doctor told me after I was taking every naturopathic cholesterol, heart health product on the market. And one year he told me, he said, I'm going to tell you something, Pastor. He said, a great part of your challenge is what you do, your work. And he said, I know if I ask you, are you under any stress? You're going to say no, because I know you're a man of faith, right? And I laughed. And he said, but there's not a leader. There's not a business person. There's not a person that's out there doing it that's not under stress. There's a lot of women who are the heads of their household, the only provider, and they got to go out there and get it. And they got to take care of a family. And there's so much pressure on them. They even had a commercial out with a woman who was like being this superhero woman. You had to see it, where she was, leaving this, putting on a construction hat, building this, going to the executive office, sitting down, calling shots, going. Right. And then heart attack comes.
Yes. And then other things happen. Like, for instance, my wife, for years, she had a thyroid. A thyroid on her neck. And the doctor was talking about doing all these different things with it. They said, well, we may have to cut it out. It's not cancerous, but we may have to cut it out if it keeps on causing problems with your body. Through the product, no lump.
Wow.
No lump. I watch my wife now, and she got more energy. right now we're just so in love with life. We're so in love with health,
Yeah.
and we're so in love with taking care of our bodies. And there's no excuse for it. When people say, "Well, it's too much," no, it's not too much. For as little as $5 a day, you can get something that will help you. But once again, we spend money on things in other areas. It comes down to obedience, and
we invest in, we're creatures of habits. We invest in everything oftentimes except for ourselves.
that's right.
We invest in our cars. We'll go get new wheels put on the cars. We, add this feature, get the car washed every week. You know how much it costs to get a car washed now? It starts at $22 every week. But what investment do we make in this?
Yes.
And this is what we need to drive the car. This is what we need to live and breathe and do life at home and with family and work and fulfill purpose. What are we investing in this? And so, this Unicity product was a phenomenal product.
I was in the Indian community the other day. This is going to blow you away. I was in the Indian community the other day because I went to a little thing with the product, and I seen Indian men and women 98, 96, 95, walking around looking good without crutches. And I said, man, this is incredible. They don't take no medicine. They don't do anything.
Yeah.
And all the man is shaking up their drinks and they got this self-healthy. And I see the same vision for our people.
Amen.
That's the reason why, I'm so glad that you invited me to speak about this, because if one person listens, if you could say one person, but I believe by faith, we're going to save a lot of people.
Amen. That's the mission. Yeah.
It's starting to get healing. And if you're out there listening or looking, you don't have to deal with all of the heartache and disappointment. You don't have to be sick all the time.
Yeah.
You don't have to have a lack of energy. You can do something about it. And what I'm saying to you guys is your health is your wealth. You just said your health is your wealth. And if you ain't got your health, you don't even really have the wealth. We really have to start doing things the right way, because, the American system, when I was a kid, my mother was a kid, the doctors went around with a little case in their hand and they had to figure out what was wrong. So now it's pill, 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 pill. And shot. We're into a sick care system. So I say, if it's a sick care, you got to learn how to care for yourself. Not to say that you don't listen to the doctors, but you got to learn how to take care of yourself. And
yes, sir.
We are right now. We have to learn how to take care of ourselves.
That's right. Self-care.
Tell ourselves.
We talk about your life matters, your health matters. Black lives matters. Your black health matters.
Because more of us are checking out more than Black Lives Matter.
That's right.
Every day, when you see the statistics.
Sad.
A young man the other day, he's in Cleveland, Ohio, and he told me in Cleveland, Ohio, he says the only restaurants around are fast food restaurants, and they stay full of our people. I'm not going to mention the name, but popular fast food restaurants, they stay full of our people. We have to do better.
Right. We have to. We must do better. And speaking of better, my whole platform is a better you. So when there's a better you, there's a better me, there's a better us.
Yeah, but I think also too, we got to stop being so passive about it. A lot of times we are
true
about it because we don't offend anyone.
Right.
Stuff. But it's at a point now where we have to get in people's face and challenge them to make a change. It's past being passive about it, being taboo about it, because like you said, you got members that that had illnesses but wouldn't reach out and look at the result. Right. We get sick and we hold on to these things and we don't reach out, and all this stuff is happening. So what we need to do now is the heck with all of this. I'm sick. What's the answer? What can we do? We need to work together. That's what we need to do, and stop being taboo about everything. I'm happy to say I had a heart attack before, but God, look at me now.
Come on, amen.
Say I had that, but look at me now. So it's great to be able to say that, and when you do that, and God give you another chance to live and move on, you want to do the same for other people. So I'm so glad that you did this, because you don't know how many people you touch, and you touch people in the ministry every day. But this message today is going to help so many people. It's going to help so many
Amen.
people. And
Yeah.
I think we need to do it more than once. We really need to push this thing. Your health is your health is your wealth. It has to be a better you.
Yes.
Not tomorrow. Now's the time.
Right now. That's right. That's right. There's no day like today to start right now. And so we have to value ourselves. Unlike we want other people to value us, value starts with us. And you've heard me say this, and I don't know, maybe I probably picked it up from you, but it became a part of my, financial literacy presentation, and that is, you are your greatest asset.
That's right.
It's not your house, it's not your car, it's not your your 401k. You are your greatest asset. So you have to invest in you, invest in your family. And what a better way than investing in the health of your own life, your loved ones, because many of us know people who are struggling. The medicine is not helping them, and they're struggling. Coming out of this past year, and I'll cut it short, man, this time has flown by, but man, every other week I had gotten reports on death, funerals that I have to do.
Oh, I hear it every day.
Every other week I've been doing funerals.
Yeah, I went to one of my friends I go to school with. Her name is Shalon. God bless her soul. She lost 2 legs due to diabetes, and they checked her blood the other day, and she had stage 4 cancer, and passed last night. And she's only 42 years old. And those things, they just touch me, because I wish I was to help her earlier, but these type of things happen, and it's happening every single day. And we got to really, like I said, it's time over being passive about it.
Yeah.
It's time to address it. We're too passive about it, and we have to address it. We have to address it.
Well, we're doing it. And I just want to say this before we close out, and I'll give you the last word. For those of you who are faced with different types of health challenges, this is not a remedy for everything, but for sure, as we have personally experienced, and our testimony is dealing with heart health, cholesterol, diabetes, digestive challenges, different types of health challenges, hypertension, all these things. This is something that really worked. And of course, everybody's body is designed differently, but I tell you this, it's worth trying. It's worth trying. And just following the system, which has everything to do with you valuing yourself enough to be disciplined and consistent with the intermediate fasting, doing the tea, hot or cold in the morning, eating at 12 noon, whatever your lunchtime is, and taking one of these, and then before dinner, taking another one of these and having your dinner, and then putting a close sign on your mouth after 8 o'clock until the next day. I have been sharing with people, and I've been instructing people what I want you to do when you start taking this. And I just really, the past maybe 60 days, started sharing this. I want you to go get a blood test from the doctor, because this is the real deal here. This is no game. This is no manipulation, marketing. This ain't that at all. This is the real deal. Go get your blood test. Once you start taking, go get your blood test and wait 30 days based on what you're dealing with. Like me, I waited 90 days. You waited 6 months, and see if not, when you get that blood test. And I just have a conviction about this, my brother. You line that blood test up with the last blood test and see if there's not a difference. And I'll just leave it at that.
Even more confidence, and I'm gonna let this out because I went to do the worst research. If you want more confidence, all you have to do is go to the Cleveland Heart Institution, the hospital.
Yes.
And when you go to the Cleveland Heart Institution and you look up this stuff, you see when it tells you that it reduces in people, it's been out there.
The University of Stanford, we left all of this out. The University of Stanford did a whole study on this and test on this. And this is the only naturopathic product that they have recorded. It's in writing on
Yeah.
that medical board.
You go to the doctor and the doctor tells you, well, you can't take no other medicine. It's not medicine. It's food. This is food.
And he can look it up. Your doctor can look this up as a medical professional. And they actually, on their medical system, forgive me, I forgot the platform that our brother showed us. It's on there. It's the only one listed on there. Now, I thought that was bananas. That was crazy.
It's food. And so for me, it's I'm eating to live.
Right.
Not living to eat.
Come on.
It curbs your appetite and it gets you balanced out. And just letting everybody know this is a big thing. And anybody that wants to know about the product, call Dr. McFarland, and he will tell you how to get this particular product. And I'm sure a lot of people are going to get healthy.
I actually have a link in the message section. They can just click on it and go read on it. And
I'm so glad about it because I started out for myself, and now I got about 3,000 or 4,000 people that's on it. So that's a testimony itself.
Wow.
That's a testimony. So I'm sitting back saying, I got over 3,000 people taking the product, and every day I'm getting all these great reports. Man, I'm the healing.
Lives are being changed. Come on. Come on.
My mother, she calls me up. Boy, I mean, I'm the healing doctor. So this is incredible. It's incredible. So, we're going to push this out there, let people know. And you won't be able to say you didn't hear. See, the question is, did you hear and how did you respond? So you can't say you didn't hear. Now, I done told so many people, they heard me, but some, they listened. And that's what it's all about.
Yes, sir. Well, my brother, this has been phenomenal. And yes, we will do this again. And I think the next time maybe we'll have a few people on with us.
That testimony, I got them waiting.
Their testimony. Yeah.
I got waiting. And we're gonna take this out into our community because I feel it's our moral responsibility to help our communities because it hurts really bad. When you see the people you love and know and family, it hurts very bad. That's why I'm committed to now taking a radical approach. No longer passive, radical approach.
Wow. Yeah.
Health together. So that's the point.
Praise God. Yeah. My wife and I'll say this. My wife and I have always said this, Lord, whatever you show us to get a breakthrough, whenever you reveal something to us that helps us get extreme results in our life, we will share with everybody. And that's one of these moments where this is something that we want to share with other people to help them get results.
And please, my brother, be more radical with it.
I will.
I'm a radical approach. I'm telling people you need to take this. It's going to help you. Try it. I'm giving it to some people. You need to do this. And taking a radical approach because a passive approach could be a loss of life.
I'll say this. I believe in it so much because of the results that I got, the healing that I'm walking in. I bought a whole case. And I told you can order it or I got it right here. Just give me what I paid for it and boom.
Yeah.
So that's how much I believe in it.
Thinking it works for you, you can also be a distributor. And Dr. McFarland will tell you about that. It's also a master financial gain, but we're not here to talk about financial gain.
No.
We're here to talk about the health, but you can help us by helping other people.
I just did what you told me. You told me, I said, when I started to get the result, this was before I got the test back. I was like, okay, I want to start sharing this. You told me, nope, don't buy into it like that. Wait until you get the results. That's what you told me. You remember that? You said, wait until you get the results. Wait till you get your doctor's report back.
Yeah, and when you called me, it sounded like you were lottery, boy.
Yeah, you said, then call me. And I called you, brother.
I knew it.
And I said, bing, 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 bing. This worked. So thank you, man. Thank you so much.
And I'll be seeing you very soon.
Okay. All right. God bless you. Appreciate you.
Thank you for tuning in to a Better You program with Anthony McFarland. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow on your favorite podcast platform so that you never miss an episode. Thanks for listening.